Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live, the Massive Iron podcast, the biggest podcast on planet Earth, the strongest podcast on planet Earth, and the fittest podcast on planet Earth. Look at me. Black Friday, I shaved. I'm looking pretty sexy if I don't mind telling you. Guys joining me. I'll be on as long as you have questions. We have something very special going on today. It is Black Friday. Black Free Day. All right, let me Black Free Day. All right, see this little handy dandy thing right here. Everyone that asks a question gets a chance to spin the wheel, and only one spin per person. It has to be a question. Okay, so if I spin the wheel for you, you have to head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, and DM me for your prize. Or you can email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. So let me repeat that. If I spin the wheel for you to get your prize, you have to do something. If you win, you have to head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman or DM me or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. Now, not everyone wins. Only 1/3 of questions win. So that's just the way it goes. Not everybody can win, but I'm going to show you how it works. Here we go. Oh, the bonk, sorry. You can see it was almost right there at a hoodie. Now, if you look at the wheel, free logbook, that's a free training book. That's an actual book that I will ship to you. We got in here free hoodie, free custom workout design, free cookbook, free shirts. There's one on here called free everything. Free everything. If you win this, if you get this, you get free month of coaching, and you get one of everything from my store, literally. That's about, I don't know, not every shirt. You only get one shirt and one hoodie, but it's about a $300 value. So let me just minimize that a little bit. There we go. We'll minimize the spinner. All right, guys, before we get into things, just to let you know, sometimes YouTube does not post up your question. Not me censoring or filtering you guys. So in that case, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, slide into my DM, post your questions, and I will read your question online. Also, just to let you know, over on my website, superlivingtoday.com, I have deals going on all month. I got some big things going on. So listen real quick. I'll knock them out. $4.99 next level t-shirt. Okay, so head over to superlivingtoday.com. In the search button, search next level. You'll find a $4.99 t-shirt. My cookbook is $4.99. I have a new book, Massive Bulking, which is out. Flags are only $9.99. And here's the last thing, and then we're going to get into things. On Instagram, every day until Christmas. Every day until Christmas on my Instagram, at Ben the Barman, I'm going to be giving away something free. Because everybody this time of year uses things to drive sales, and I get it. But this year I decided to do something different and give away something free every day. So there's going to be a contest on my Instagram, at Ben the Barman, every single day. Every single day. So look for that. Instagram at Ben the Barman. Please head over there and follow me. All right, let's dive into things. Stein, first up. Who else would it be? I was wondering if Stein would be out doing his Black Friday Christmas shopping for me, if he would be out there trying to secure me a gift. Happy Friday to you, too, Stein. I almost forgot it was Friday. Yesterday, I got one of the rare days off I get during the year, and kind of Lost track of what day it was. Paul Velasquez. Paul just had a custom workout done. Paul, how you doing? Big Spoon Bear, what's going on? I was refreshing the channel to beat Stein, however, it didn't appear just in my usual feed. I don't know how he does it, to be honest with you. Just a reminder, guys, post up your questions. Every question, one per individual, gets a chance to spin the wheel for a free prize. Big Spoon Bear, late afternoon in East Devon, UK, starting to feel more like the holidays are almost here. And I agree with him. You know what? The media is trying to scare people again, some new super uber duber strain and that sort of thing. So I hope none of you guys get shut down from all that nonsense. Zed, hello from Canada. How's it going, Zed? Here we go. First spin of the wheel coming up. Nicholas Ingrata, thoughts on best steady state cardio machine for calorie burning? When it comes to steady state and calorie burning, your best bet is something that involves incline. A treadmill, Stairmaster, both of those involve incline. The beautiful thing about a treadmill is you can change it, right? So you can change the intensity. You can change the incline. So a Stairmaster is a Stairmaster. You have to go upstairs. So with that said, you have to probably get a real quality machine, and I would do some research. I imagine I don't really know. I've never looked at the cost for a Stairmaster. Not a lot of people get Stairmasters at home. Therefore, I would assume that an incline treadmill would be your best bet. Now, if you want to really save money, get yourself some aerobic steps. You can get some extension base plates or whatever they call them. And just doing step-ups, that elevation will really burn calories. It'll get your heart rate up. And with regarding the step-ups and using like an aerobic step, and I'm not just talking about a little bit of a step-up. Let's get a little, 8, 10, 12 inches, something that makes you work. All right, Nicholas, you get a spin on the wheel. Are you ready? Here we go. First spin of the day for Nicholas Ingrata. Here we go. What do we got? Sorry, Nicholas. You're the first one up the bat, and you whiffed. I'm sorry. I was hoping the first person up the bat would win a prize. Let's see. Harut, what's up, guys? How's it going, Harut? Richard Murray, hello from Scotland. Hope everyone in the U.S. had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you, Richard. And just regarding Thanksgiving, I just want to thank all you guys. Being able to do this for a living is truly a blessing, so I appreciate it. Travis Hudson, hello from Meridian, Mississippi, way down there. How's it going? Just a reminder, each question gets a chance to win. Limit one chance per person. Big Spoon Bear, I'm thankful for my wife's son and job letting me work from home so I can spend more time with them. Yeah, that can be a blessing and a curse, getting to spend more time with people. As long as you're able to temper that and establish rules, it's a good thing. Paul got his 20 rep on bench this morning. Congrats, Paul. That's a big step. All right, let me look at the questions here. Shiv, can we drink the water whey protein that is extracted while making cottage dairy cheese? Can we drink the water that is I don't know, man. I know what you mean, because I'm from Wisconsin. I come from a family of cheesemakers, and there is I've seen how they do it, but I don't know about that, man. I really don't know anything about that. But since you asked a question, Shiv, you get a spin at the wheel. Let's see what Shiv gets. Oh, man. We're 0 for 2. Come on, guys. Try harder. Sorry, Shiv. Just a reminder on here, we have a free everything. And the free everything you make, you win the big prize package. Daniel Berlin, how do you like to program HIIT cardio? Well, first off, for enjoyment, I like to keep it flexible. The real rules aside, right? And some people like to Some people like rules. They believe that you have to do it one way. You have to do things in life one way, or you're missing out. I like to do what's called surging. Okay. When I'm on elliptical, I usually warm up for 5 minutes, and then the last 15 seconds of every minute thereafter, I go hard. Like on the elliptical, I'll go as fast as I can at that at that moment in time. So I don't have a particular goal when it comes to speed. I just try to go as quickly as I can. And then for the rest of the 45 seconds of that minute, I go back to just my normal pace. Now, is there anything magical about 15 seconds? No, you could do it for 20 if you want. I think 15 to 20 seconds is a sweet spot. That's how I like to do it. And I usually do those surges, as I call them, as long as I feel like it. And then I'll usually do a shutdown of 2, 3, 4 minutes, or a cool down of 2, 3, or 4 minutes. And you can do that really on anything. You can do that on treadmill, periods of walking and running. You can do it on elliptical. You can really do it on anything. All right, Daniel, for your question, you get a spin of the wheel. Let's get a prize here. This is starting off with a bang. I said 1 in 3. I set this up so about 1 in 3 people win. And so far we're over 3. What a way to start. Big Spoon Bear, anybody else want to share their thanks? Go right ahead. I'll read it. I've been trying to ask in so many ways. Let's see. All right. So Sin Ack. For bigger weight loss clients with beginning loose skin, is skin removal surgery the only option? 100%. No way to get that off. It's not fat. There's no way to shrink skin. Skin removal surgery is 100% the only option. The good news about it, excuse me, I think I'm choking on an imaginary piece of dust. The good news about it is I don't think it's super expensive, all things considered. I mean, yeah, it's probably $8,000 to $9,000, $10,000, but that's not cheap, right? But I mean, if you worked hard, that's something you can finance or pay for, and at least it's reasonable. We're not talking $20,000, $30,000. So, Sin, for your question, you get a spin. Come on, win. Oh, my goodness. It is not rigged. It's not rigged. I'm sorry, guys. It's not rigged, I guarantee. I got so many free things in here. It's about 33%-ish. Someone's going to win. Maybe. Joe, happy Friday from Sweden. Have you tried the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 10, 10, 20 protocol with overhead work? I have a couple clients doing it. I'm not against it at all, and I wouldn't do it on squats and deads for sure. I'm not. Well, you could probably do it on deads. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be okay on squats and deads, but then on the volume day, I'd probably chill it a little bit. I'm not a big fan of volume work on deads, so I probably wouldn't do that. Squats, you could probably do a volume, a day, maybe 3, 5, 8, and 12 or something. Something along those lines. But I have a few clients doing it on the overhead press, and the results people were getting on the bench press using this protocol on bench press were just, I don't say shocking, but it was pretty shocking because nearly everybody was getting consistently quality results. So I'd give it a try. There's no harm in trying it all. All right, Joe, time for a spin. Joe, we're 0 for 4. I need you to win, Joe. I need you to win so people don't know this. People don't think this is rigged. I don't know what's going on. Come on, I can't give away stuff. All I want to do is give away stuff. We're 0 for 5. We're going to go on a hot run here. We're going to go on a hot streak, so hang tough. Ian, you still sing. I listen to a couple of your songs. Thank you. Yes, I do. I don't this every night, literally every night for hours going through my set. But now client work has taken over, and it's my main priority, and I just don't have time. Ian, here you go. Win something, please. We're 0 for 5. Hope I'm not giving anybody motion sickness. I don't know what's going on. Is my Black Friday giveaway cursed? We're 0 for 6. 0 for 6. All right, let's try this again. Stoyed. Stein should get a freebie just for being Stein. Exactly. Big Spoon Bear. Stein can move through space and time. He needs nothing but our acknowledgement. That's right. Brian Funk, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Brian. Appreciate it. And Paul says, yes, sir, I'd like to thank the Lord for all his blessings. I'm grateful for my family and Team Massive. Thank you, sir. And I only need my wizard hat. That's all he needs. He doesn't wear any underwear, no undergarments, no clothing. He just walks around in public with his wizard hat. Thankfully, it's over his genitals. Brandon Peterson, of course, I'm on a strange schedule when this starts. Sorry, man. Don't forget, guys, don't forget, everybody gets a chance. If you ask a question, everybody gets a chance to spin the wheel. How's it going, Ben? Ben's got a Massive Iron hoodie. He was the Team Massive Member of the Month last month. I moved a meeting around for this one. Now I'm writing emails, waiting for it to start. I appreciate it. Post up a question, Ben, so you get a chance to win. And I'd be curious what beautiful new keyboard you have. I got this old, ugly thing right here. You can see it's like 17 years old, and it's dirty, and it's probably filled with 10 pounds of food. TMI, right? Big Spoon here, but glad I'm not on duty today. My phone won't ring. What do we got here? Sorry, would you do slingshot bench in addition to normal bench or alternatively? I've actually made a video about this just last week or the week before. You can do it on one way you can do it is on your normal bench day. On your last set, you can do a rest pause set. So you could do this more than just on your last set. You could let's say you're doing 8 reps. You have like an 8 rep goal on your last bench set, and you stop the set, you're near failure, you can slap on the slingshot, get back under the bench, and knock out more reps. So how you do this is really up to you. A lot of flexibility. That's one option. After you're done with your regular sets of bench, like let's say you're doing a threes or straight sets or some kind of pyramiding, you could slap it on, do another set, or you could use it every other workout. Really a lot of different ways to do it. I would recommend using it on your close grip bench to really overload your close grip bench. So Stoyed gets a spin of the wheel. We're 0 for 6. Somebody's got to win. Yes, somebody won. How about that? Stoyed, you get a free flag. You get a free Massive Iron flag. And remember, winners, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. If you do not do this, you got to mention your YouTube name. You got to mention your YouTube name to win. All right, congrats. We actually have our first winner. We're 1 for 7. Oops, Big Spoon Bear said that's amazing. Brandon, would it be more effective to program cardio directly after my lifts or leave a couple dedicated days to just cardio? Thanks for the videos, by the way. Thank you, Brandon. Really good question. And it depends. I don't like to do any intense cardio the day before squats or deadlifts. So I personally prefer to keep those as rest days, if possible. So you can use them on your off days. You can do it after your workouts. If you're going to do more extended cardio longer than 30 minutes, I would probably have some form of simple carbs after you're lifting, or maybe 15 minutes before your lifting is done. You have, man, what am I thinking of here? There are some things that there's some carb chews that we use on runs. Honey stingers. And we're not talking about the gels. We're talking about the little chewies. I think they're like 130 or 40 calories. If you're going to do if you're going to do cardio for conditioning and your weight's reasonable and you're not trying to lose weight, that's one thing you can do. If you do your cardio right after lifting. If not, if it's just a smaller session, 20 to 30 minutes, probably nothing to worry about. But it really doesn't matter, Brandon. Just kind of do it when it makes sense for you. And be aware of when your squats and deadlifts are if you're doing those. So let's spin the wheel for Brandon. Brandon wins a free t-shirt. Here we go. A free Massive Iron Next Level t-shirt. Brandon, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. Mention your YouTube name or email me at benthebarman@gmail.com. And congrats. Don't forget your size. And when you guys message me, I need your full name, address, email, phone, and in this case, shirt size. All right, Scotty Mack, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Thanks, Scotty. I appreciate it. I think certainly in the last 2 years, we've all been thankful for you. Thank you. And this has been one of my few sanity connection points, being able to do this every Friday and connect with people across the world during the middle of all this chaos. The Irish Hitman, RPE or percentage-based training? Neither. I don't like them. I don't like either of them. I'm not saying they can't be useful tools. I'm not saying you can't make good progress on them. I don't particularly like either of them. RPE, like what's an RPE? We're talking about reps in reserve and a rate of perceived effort, like leaving 4 reps in the tank. I don't even know what that is, and I've been doing that 36 years. It's way too much for me, and I don't really find percentage-based training to be useful. The only time I use it is when I have a client that is doing a peaking program that's going to test their 1-rep maxes or is ramping up for a powerlifting meet, and then we use this very specific peaking program based on current 1-rep max and percentages. So the Irish Hitman gets a chance to win. Here's the spin of the wheel, and I can't look. I get motion sickness, honestly, and the smallest things trigger me, so I can't really look. What do we got? Oh my goodness, you got the big one. The Irish Hitman won a big free month of coaching. That's one of the big ones. We got 3 in a row. Now look, there's no secret bullshit with this. And if you're an existing client, if you win something like this, I just you get the next one free. Simple as that. But there's no bullshit, no hidden nonsense. What I do is we'll set up a time to call, treat you just like a paying client. We'll go over your information. We will set up a custom workout. You get on my training app just like a regular client. I'll be in communication with you nearly every single day. So that's one of the big ones on here. And I was hoping that I would get somebody to win this. So congratulations to D Irish Hitman. Hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman or email benthebarman@gmail.com to get things rolling, and congrats. All right, Fazlifts, hello. Hope everyone on the other side of the pond has a great Thanksgiving. Thank you, sir. And just because you're Faz, I'm going to give you a free spin of the wheel. Faz, I'm sorry you don't get a Massive Iron t-shirt. Your heart's broken, I know. Stein, Massive Bulking is a great book. Thank you. For those of you that aren't familiar, my website, Super Living Today, this week I put out a mini book. It's about 65 pages of content, and it teaches you how to bulk. It's called Massive Bulking. And basically, it shows anybody up to 50 pounds overweight how to approach bulking. So if you're somebody that's trying to gain weight, there's a section for you. If you're somebody that wants to hold weight and recomp, there's a section for you. And for those of you that are overweight, there's a section for you as well. Big Spoon Bear, man, you are so awesome. Thank you. Yo, Faz. And Brett Wild says, we like free stuff. Rock Carlos. Hi, Whey or Cassian for long-term supplementation. Please. And P.S. Greets from Poland. Thanks for tuning in, Ruck. I appreciate it. I know you've been posting questions on here for a while, but I had no idea you're from Poland. Where Cassian for long term? That's a very interesting question. So if you are someone that really doesn't have any problem getting in your daily protein intake, I would probably say Cassian. And take that before bed. Take a scoop before bed. It's a slower digesting protein source. And we're looking at somebody that, say, as an example, that only has the funds or the desire to buy one. So if you have a really quality protein intake, then I would probably say stick with Cassian and take it before bed. If you are somebody that is struggling to reach your daily protein intake, then I would say Whey 100% and have one or two scoops per day. All right, Ruck Carlos gets a spin of the wheel. Let's get something. We got 3 winners in a row. Faz doesn't count. He now is just playing. So we got 3 legit winners in a row. And sorry, Ruck. Sorry, Ruck. You did not win. But we had 6. We started out the gate with 6 bonks, and then we had 3 winners in a row. So we were 3 for 9. Now we're 3 for 10. So it's back to about 33%. So we're not doing too bad. Renee, happy digestion day. Isn't that the truth? I didn't do too bad. Had 1 plate of food yesterday, an extra serving of corn, and I also had an extra roll because I don't often eat bread. So it was really good. It was buttered garlic bread, so I couldn't resist. And I had a piece of pecan pie. In the past, I used to eat the whole pie, right? That's what fatties do. But what I actually did yesterday was just had a normal piece of pie. Shocking. Rafael de Souza is doing deadlifts and squats on the same day too much. It can be done. You just have to have smart programming. I wouldn't want you to go heavy on both days. You might have to cycle intensity, have a more intense squat day 1 week, and then a more intense deadlift day the next week. But it can be done if it is balanced correctly. All right, Rafael, let's spin the wheel. Sorry, Raphael. You no win. All right, Stein, is walking and hiking okay for cardio, or do you need to do more intense cardio? Walking and hiking to me is fine. The best thing are, compared to regular gym cardio, are noteworthy. You get outside in the sun, the fresh air, great for vitamin D. Hiking is shown to be great for stress. So there's a lot of general health benefits. And if you're not overweight and you're pretty much at a reasonable rate and you're hiking and it has some elevation changes, it's going to raise your heart rate a little bit. So hiking is the only cardio I ever used to do before running. And look, focus on raising your heart rate, but general activity should be the first and foremost our priority. activity. So therefore, I would say that combined with a good diet and combined with resistance training, just general activity like that is absolutely fine for health. All right. Stein, the wizard, gets to spin the wheel. I'll be curious if Stein's wizardry power can, where's the everything? Where's the free everything on here? There's a free everything. Why can't my brain see it? Oh, it's right here. Free everything. Let's see if the wizard can get a free everything. Stein, I'm sorry, but your wizard powers were lacking. All right. Soy Sauce Banana, hello from California. How's it going? Appreciate you tuning in. James Helbro, what's your favorite Thanksgiving treat? What do I like on Thanksgiving? Well, I would say a couple things. Number one, to be able to pile everything on my plate and mix together in just one big spoonful or forkful, turkey, potatoes, corn, everything. Just, goes so well together. And beyond that, I love corn with roasted red pepper, and being able to eat a good pie. I don't really, pie is not something I have throughout the year. So Thanksgivings are really the only time. So I would say that. All right, James, a spin of the old wheel. Sorry, James. Sorry. Godfrey Peterson. I don't know why I said Jeffrey. Godfrey Peterson. Thoughts on a rowing machine for cardio? I have nothing against it. Any form of general movement. It's not high impact. So I've never tried it myself more than a few minutes. I know it's not high impact. So that is a benefit. The only thing I would say is if you have a big pulling day, the next day I would probably not do it because that's a pulling movement, obviously. So Godfrey, you get to spin the wheel. Sorry, Godfrey, we're on a long run again of bad luck. JMDVOU, hey, big hair ugly dude, thanks for tuning in. Scary TikToks. Should I be going heavier for low rep for mass? I can't seem to put on actual size. No, heavier is not. Lower reps and heavier is not the way. Progression on really anything 5 reps and above is the way. We know from hypertrophy studies you can do higher reps. I believe up to 30 and still gain mass. But the issue with higher reps is I don't think they provide the same amount of tendon strengthening. So really reasonable rep ranges. You should be pushing for progression in reasonable rep ranges. If you're not putting on size, odds are you're not pushing for progression or getting a lot stronger in reasonable rep ranges. So scary TikToks. Here you go. Sorry, scary. Here we go. JMDVOU. How close should my grip be when doing close grip bench? This is a really good question. And honestly, it's not something people ask enough. When you see the rings on a bench, okay? And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, if things have changed in any federation since I've competed, but pinkies on rings is usually what we consider the shortest grip for a bench press. Not just for competition, but if I'm looking at clients, you're looking at pinkies on rings. Any more narrow than that, you're getting into close grip range. A lot of people think close grip is some sort of a super close grip. That's not actually true. That's just crap that you see from old bodybuilding magazines, and it's not actually, that's super close grip. What we want to do, it's a sliding scale, and I forget where I saw this on Instagram the other day. Somebody else echoed the same sentiment. It's a sliding scale. The wider you go, the more you're going to call into play your chesticles. The more narrow you go, the more you're going to call into play your tricepticons. So really your close grip is only a couple inches inside of your conventional, 2 to 3 inches inside of your regular bench press grip, if that makes sense. So a good starting point is to look at your bench width and see, get a photo or a video of it. Photo would be easier for me to look at. But, from there, I can see if your bench grip is wide enough. A lot of people that come to me for coaching, they're actually doing a close grip bench, and their bench grip is not wide at all. And, for some of them, I try to get them to widen their bench grip, and they're like, oh, it feels unusual. It's like, yeah, because you're using your chest more than your triceps. So your chest is probably remaining a little bit more weak, if that makes sense. So JMD, VOU, Spinaroo. Bonk, sorry. Somebody's got to win the free everything. Guys, we're 37 minutes in. Keep the questions coming. If your questions are not posting on here, slide into Instagram and DM and send them via Instagram. I'll try to ask them live right here. And I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. Mike McClellan, any tips to loosen up a tight hamstring? Good question. If you're experiencing tightness in your hamstring, that's not fascia related. Like if you get up out of a chair and you feel tight or stiff, that's usually some, kind of a calcification, so to speak, of your fascia, connective tissue. It's just kind of hardened and stiffened a little bit. And that's really easy to lose up. If you have a tight hamstring in general, that sounds like more of a issue with that you might have to maybe heat or stretch. And I am no expert in stretching. I've done a fair share over time, but I'm certainly not an expert in the modern scope of things. But I would consider stretching, yoga, hot baths, and maybe even foam rolling. So, Mike, spin the wheel, Mike. Mike, free custom workout. Now, if any of you win something you already have access to via coaching or whatever, you can use this or trade it in on something else, okay? Just know that. So if it's a big hitter like this and you guys already, like there are people that come to me for custom workouts, and if they win a custom workout or if they're involved with coaching and win a custom workout, they can trade this in for something else. Flag shirts, whatever, or they can give it away to somebody else that they if they want a gift. Soy sauce, banana. Do you drink diet soda? Very, very rarely. This is my thing, so I guess this is basically diet soda. Purple Monsters. Occasionally, once a month, if we are done with a long run and we're really tired or don't have time to cook, I might do 3 McDoubles from McDonald's. And one thing I do enjoy is having a large Diet Coke with 3 McDoubles. McDoubles, even though I try to avoid bread, being a diabetic, and it doesn't always impact me, make me feel the greatest, A McDouble I know is like 23 grams of protein, only 380 calories. So I know I can get in a meal for 1,140 calories and 69 grams of protein. And it's not bad. It's not the worst thing. So soy sauce banana, here's your spin on the wheel. Congrats, you won a logbook. This is a real spiral-bound massive iron logbook. Has 220 pages, so it has 20 pages for workouts. Basically should be enough for a full year, and 20 pages of notes. So congrats. Again, to the winners, email me at benthebarman@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram at benthebarman@gmail.com. Make sure to include your YouTube name, because sometimes when I do contests on YouTube, people will email me, and make sure you include your real name in shipping, because people will email me and say, this is soy sauce banana. Like, who do I ship it to? You know, will your mailman acknowledge soy sauce banana? So don't forget to include your real name. Christos, why do you recommend maximizing all sets in some exercises but only doing the last set in others? That's a very good question. Some of this, well, first off, Christos, you have your big hitters, okay? Your big cornerstone compound movements. So learning on them to take those safely for as many reps as possible has a lot of value. But you have to temper that with, you can't make every set for max safe reps, right? Because it can get pretty taxing and pretty challenging. So what we're trying to do is balance training intensity and training volume here. So at the end of the day, I try to do the max safe reps on 3 sets or sometimes 4 sets for a few select big hitters. And then after that, then we are kind of moving on to less impactful compound movements and machines and cables and isolations and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to do is bring a balance to the programming between super hard, intense work and getting in your volume. So on things like the leg press, for example, or hack squats, things you've done after squats, if we had to do 9 sets for max safe reps, it wouldn't be an enjoyable workout. So there's that factor as well. So basically, I'm trying to balance intensity and volume and training enjoyment and training safety. Sometimes with my bulldozer sets, you're doing 5 sets for max safe reps. That gets pretty intense, but you'll notice anybody that has seen my bulldozer programming, I try to do that not on every exercise. So Christos, you get a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Christos. Brips. Hello, how was your Thanksgiving? It was good. I rarely ever get a day off where I'm not on the computer, not on my phone, and not reading questions from Instagram or whatever. This was the first day that I can remember where me and my wife just sat on the couch all day and watched movies. So it was well needed. Even when I was on vacation in Scotland, I would start the day with 2 or 3 hours. I would get up early and start the day with 2 or 3 hours of client messages. When I was on vacation in Australia, I did the same thing. So this was the first time in a long time that I just had a day where I could relax. All right, Brips. Spinning the wheel for Brips. We've been on a streak of, we had a logbook. Bonk, sorry. Harut, any real difference between a $150 barbell versus a $250, same manufacturer? A very good question. So when you are looking at barbells, you want to look at the notes, the details. Make sure it's not a squat bar. Make sure it's not a deadlift bar. They are different. A squat bar is going to be a little thicker. It's going to have knurling around the center, right in the middle of the back for extra grip. A deadlift bar is going to have a thinner handle. It's going to have a little bit more whip. Now, if you go over to titan.fitness.com, and I have no affiliation with these guys, I just like their shipping and their customer service. If you go over there, they have a bar, I believe, for $120 that's rated for 700 pounds. It's a really good general bar. I would get that for your workman bar, because even if you beat the shit out of it, it's only $120. I've never beaten the crap out of a barbell at home to the point where I needed to replace it. So in my gym, I keep a workman bar like that for benching. It's again about $120 at Titan Fitness. And then I like to have a deadlift bar. For squats, I need a Buffalo bar or a safety squat bar. So I basically have a bar for each lift. All right, Harut, spin the wheel. That's two. That's two. Free month of coaching. Free month of coaching, Harut. Hit me up on Instagram, and congrats on Instagram at BenTheBarman. Or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. And if any of you don't want coaching, or if any of you win custom workouts, or if any of you win and have these services already, we can trade them in for any other prizes. So if you don't want coaching and you want the free new massive bulking PDF or logbook or whatever, we'll make a deal on the big hitters. Big spoon bear, bodyweight exercise is just as important as free weights. No. But we can't make generic statements. If we look at the vast pool of bodyweight exercises compared to dumbbell and barbell exercises, and we look at them as a group, they're not equal. Dumbbell and barbell as a group are generally a little bit more impactful. With that said, you have a lot of quality bodyweight exercises, push-ups, dips, pull-ups, chin-ups, etc. Exercises that even Bulgarian split squats. Obviously, we load these exercises eventually, but their core are body weight. So there are a lot of quality bodyweight exercises that I program for my clients, and those are some of them. Some of them, like push-ups, are better because they can become so easy as part of a superset. So what I do with a lot of my clients is we do a dips and push-up superset, and they do the push-ups after the dips. All right. And just as an end cap, a workout needs to have balance, and it needs to have a good variety of exercises, because a variety of quality exercises has been shown to be beneficial for hypertrophy. So there are definitely good body weight exercises you can and should work into a muscle building program. All right. Big Spoon Bear, did you spin already? I can't even remember. I cannot even remember if you spun. I should have wrote this stuff down. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'll spin again because I can't remember. That's it. The Bonkaroo. Giannis, besides accessory doing overhead press, bench, squats, and deads twice a week and rows 4 times a week. Whoa. Rows 4 times a week. Deads twice a week. That's a little bit. You really should have some variations in there. I'm assuming you have dumbbell and barbell variations for overhead and bench. Squats multiple times a week. Probably better to work in variations like squats and hacks, or squats and leg presses, or something like that. Deads I wouldn't recommend twice a week, and rows I would not recommend 4 times a week. Just look, can you get results off that? Of course you can. Is it the best program? No. And there are holes in that program, and I can't really get into much further than that. I'd be doing an overhead press, dumbbell, and barbell. I'd be doing a bench, dumbbell, and barbell. I'd be doing a squat and another quad variation. I'd be doing deads and then maybe shruggies. And then when it comes to back work, you need overhead, you need vertical pulling, and you need horizontal pulling. So you're lacking the vertical pulling, which is things like pull-ups and lat pull downs. And rows, you probably should add in 2 variations, something like a seated cable row, barbell row, dumbbell row, T-bar row, etc. All right, Giannis, spin. And Giannis, maybe you'll get a free custom workout, and I'll put together something for you. All right, Giannis wins the free book. Free Massive Iron Bulking PDF. That's my new book I released this week. Giannis, hit me up on Instagram at BenTheBarman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. If any of you have purchased something that you won, again, we will exchange it for something else. Vinny P. How do you feel about abs 3 days a week and adding vacuums daily to tighten up the midsection? I have nothing against it at all. I just would make sure your abs are fresh on squat and deadlift days. But I'm 100% for it as long as you're not doing, the mindless 2,000 reps of floor crunches, things that don't have value. So Vinny P is a client of mine. Vinny P gets to spin the old wheel. Sorry, Vinny. Matt, a client of mine. And you guys should head over to his YouTube channel. You can learn stuff about financing, accounting, investing, and all kinds of good stuff. Matt has an inhuman brain. And even though Matt is on a cutting diet, he got to eat freely yesterday, and I hope he enjoyed it. Is there a certain progression you should do on warm-ups? I assume it's based on your 1 rep max. I see this a lot, Matt, with warm-up sets, that people make big jumps. And people don't always understand the nature of warm-up sets. It's not talked about enough. A warm-up exists to, number 1, bring your body temperature up slightly. So you're warming up the body. Things run a little bit more smoothly. You're also trying to loosen up anything that's tight. You're trying to make a mental connection with the lift you're about to do, kind of zeroing in or fine-tuning. And you're really trying to warm up the central nervous system. Because when the central nervous system, the body is not just going to recruit maximum amount of muscle fibers on every lift, right? That's highly inefficient. If I'm picking up a can, my body isn't going to recruit a maximum amount of muscle fibers. You're doing this spontaneously, right? It's going to use the minimum required. When you're lifting, if you're not doing ramping sets and slowly engaging or preparing or telling that central nervous system something's up, you're really shortcutting your training and you're increasing the risk of injury. If you jump into benching like 225 without warm-ups, your body's going to be like caught off guard. You're not going to be recruiting a maximal amount of muscle fibers for that bench set, and you're going to not dramatically, that might be a little bit dramatic to say, but you're going to be increasing your risk of injury. So what I like to do is usually start with the bar by 10, just to get the feel for an exercise. Usually our working sets are at 70% of our 1 rep max and over. So we probably should be doing a 60, 50, and 40% warm-up, unless the 40% is lower than the barbell weight. And with the 40, 50, 60% warm-up, you need something like 8, 5, and 2 reps, or 10, 6, and 4 reps, or something like that. And if you're training heavier, much heavier than 70%, you might want to do a 70% for 2 reps. Let's say you're starting at 77.5% of your 1 rep max about, you could do 70% for a single or double. And I hope that makes sense. Matt, is this your first question, or did you spin the wheel before? I can't remember, and because I can't remember, we're just going to spin. That's just the new rule. Sorry, Matt. No soup for you. Maintenance Man 247. Hope you had a great holiday. Thank you. I hope you as well. Hello from Alabama. I'm going to be starting 12-hour rotating shifts. That's a crunch in the old testicles. Been on straight for 5 years. Is this going to derail my training? No, you just have to adapt. You just have to adapt. And I'm not sure if you're doing 4 days on, 4 days off, every other day, that sort of thing. But you're just going to have to adapt. What I would probably do is, if you're doing every other day, I would probably, work out on your off days. If you're doing something like the 4 days on, 4 days off, which is common, or things like that are common, I would probably do something where I would have an upper lower type of program, or I would, if you're doing a body part split, I would back off the volume for the days where you're working hard. So let's say on your average training day, you're doing 3 sets per exercise. If you're done with a 12-hour shift and still want to lift, I would allow yourself the freedom to do just 1 to 2 sets per exercise, and understand it's not going to shortcut your gains, right? You're not going to lose gains. The biggest thing that's going to cause you to lose gains is not being consistent over time. So I would allow yourself a little bit of freedom for a workout that falls on a day when you're doing a 12-hour shift. So that's one possibility. One possibility is just doing 3 days of lifting on your 4 days off if you're doing that type of a split. So I'd like to know more information. If you want to hit me up on Instagram, I can help you out a little bit more. Maintenance Man, let's spin the wheel. What do we got? Sorry, Maintenance Man. All right, Ben, just a reminder, your squat protocol was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 20. I've had a few over the years, Ben, so that's definitely one of them. So I appreciate that. Look, we got some guests in studio. We got Mr. Noops. Mr. Noopy Noops.
I'm on the big wheel.
You're on the big wheel. Let's see if Fiona wins a prize. What do you win?
I don't know. Hope it's good.
Let's see if you win a prize. Where's Bubba? Bubba hasn't been on.
I don't know where the camera is.
Oh, you don't win a prize.
I didn't win a prize. I think it's rigged. It's rigged. Where's
rigged.
Bubba? Hello!
Hey, Bubba.
I know, I can't figure out the camera. Bubba, hello.
All right. Sorry, you did not win a prize.
I think it's rigged.
You're stuck with me now.
I should have won.
Oh, Bubba just licked my ear.
Prize.
Oh. Thanks, Bubba.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Zed. Is it weird for OHP to be 30 pounds behind bench? No. OHP generally somewhere around 70% of your max bench. So that's pretty normal. Seated press, you'll generally press more than standing press. So it depends on your seated or standing press, which variation you're doing, but that's pretty normal. All right, Zed. Spin. Bonk. Sorry, Zed. All right, Alan S., what's your favorite exercise? What's my favorite exercise? Wow. Deadlifts, dumbbell rows. I'm a back guy more than anything, deadlifts and dumbbell rows. I love dumbbell bench. Those are some of my favorites. Not really. I don't get super excited about arm work. I really don't get super excited about leg work. Squats are like something you have to do. So Alan S. gets a spin of the wheel. Congrats, Alan. You win a spiral bound massive iron logbook. This is a real book. I'm going to ship anywhere in the world. These things ship anywhere in the world. And they contain 220 pages, enough room for 200 workouts during the year, and 20 pages of notes. So congrats, Alan. Hit me up on Instagram at BenTheBarman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. Benjamin said, go Stein. Stein didn't do it. Stein failed us all. Sebastian Rue, how many hours of running do you prefer or recommend per week? Prefer and recommend. Let's break that down, because recommend would depend on general goals. If somebody's general goals are just to get in general, bring up their level of a basic level of conditioning, I would probably run 3 times a week, run twice a week during the week for 20 to 30 minutes. You don't need a lot. And then on the weekend, like on a Saturday or Sunday, a little bit longer, depending on how you feel that day, maybe 30 to 60 minutes. And if you do that, you have one longer run each week. That's probably all you're going to need for basic level of conditioning. If you're training for something a little bit more intense, I will say that one of the mistakes I made was too much running. When I hired a running coach, the running coach pulled me back because I was doing at least 12 hours of running, or at least 10 hours minimum, usually 12, 13, or 14 hours a week. So he pulled me back a little bit. For that individual, though, still 3 to 4 times a week, depending on schedule and goals. And we would have to cycle times a little bit. And maybe schedule in a deload week every 4th week. So Sebastian, spin the wheel. Sorry, Sebastian. Brian, bringing the funk. Is leg drive important on bench? No. If you're only training for hypertrophy, no. This is something that Alpha Destiny and I have talked about, and something that I believe Faz and I have talked about. And most of the benchers that bench a lot, it's one of the issues I see is that people think if their butt comes off the bench, the rep doesn't count. We've turned like powerlifting bench standards into standards for hypertrophy, which are absolutely off base and ridiculous. You really don't need any leg drive during your hypertrophy training. What you really need is a tight back setup. You need to control your eccentric. I think about rowing it down. You need your elbows not flared. I don't even set up on my traps. I just have a small little arch that's driven by just general tightness. I try to think about pushing my butt towards my lats when I'm benching. That's the only thing I think about. And when it comes to leg drive, I don't use leg drive. What I do is push my feet down and try to spread the floor really lightly. So if you push your feet down and just try to gently spread the floor, that provides a minor degree, but a reasonable degree of tightness. And that's probably all you need for hypertrophy. Why even go to that degree? Because so many people have dancing feet when it comes to the bench press. And we want some bench stability, so don't rule that out. Brian, you get to spin the wheel. Brian, congrats. You have won the Massive Iron book. This is a real book. This isn't the PDF. This is the extended version book. If you have this already and you don't want it, we'll exchange it for something else. But this is shipped anywhere in the world. So, Brian, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman or email me benthebarman@gmail.com with your YouTube name and your real name and your address and email and all that good stuff, and we will get it sent out. And congrats. So, guys, we are 1 hour and 5 minutes in. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. I appreciate your support. It's a slower day, actually, in YouTube Live. We've barely gotten over 50 viewers today, which tends to happen on days like today where people are hanging around with family. But I just appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy schedule. What do we got here, Benjamin? My keyboard is a Logitech G413. It's a gaming keyboard. I don't really game, but I type a ridiculous amount. I'm right there with you, Ben. I type a ridiculous amount. Keyboard is very important for me, the feel of the keyboard. And I don't know if you guys can see that. Whoops. I actually have a broken pinky. That's from basketball. I never healed correctly, so it's crooked. So I can't do the pinkies on the way they teach typing. So I'm a little more challenged of a typist. Adhar, focusing on progressive overload, but not getting that much tension on the muscles that I used to get on less weight. If you're moving weight, there's inherent tension, Adhar. You might not be able to get that feel, but there's not as much tension on less weight, so you're not going to get, without progressive overload, that tension isn't real that you're feeling on the lighter weight. You can feel it better, but you're not getting more inherent tension. Tension is built into heavy weight. Make sure you're controlling the weights, especially during the eccentrics, not slowing them, controlling them. If you would like me to look at a video of any specific lift, you could send one over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. All right. So not really a question, but kind of a question. So Adhar, I'm going to spin the wheel for you. I guess it was a question. Sorry, Adhar. Sebastian, range for oblique and ab training. It depends on, this is really an answer that is driven by the exercise itself. So it is really hard to say. It depends on the exercise. So if you're doing like ab wheel rollouts, you're probably doing something like 10 to 25. If you're doing something that's a little bit easier, but you enjoy the exercise, you could probably go as high as 25. When you get beyond that, you're talking about things like shoulder tap planks and flutter kicks. You can do those as well for higher reps. But really, once you get about 50 reps, the question to me is, what value is it really adding? Or are there better exercises you could be doing for overall core strength and size? So, all right, Sebastian, we already spun for you. So, Travis, do you drink beer? If so, what's your favorite? Absolutely. And my favorite is Dogfish Head 120. It's like 17 to 18%. It's got a very rich, distinct taste. It's a triple IPA. It doesn't taste like an IPA. It's like nothing you've really tasted. So I'm a big fan. And Sonder, which is a local beer company, has a sour with a raspberry and jalapeno that is just super refreshing. Probably the most refreshing beer I've ever had. Travis, I think we spun the wheel earlier. Did we not spin the wheel earlier for Travis? Travis, I can't remember. I seem to think we did, but I got like 1,000 questions back. No, that was Howdy from Meridian, Mississippi. I don't think we spun for Travis, and if we did, that's my fault. Where are we? I lost track of where we were. Oh, there we are. All right. I'm not going to penalize you guys if I forget if you've asked a question already. Sorry, Travis. All right, Brent. Get shoulder pain with barbells. Is dumbbell sufficient for gaining strength? Absolutely. You can do a lot with dumbbells, dips, push-ups, and things like that. With barbells, though, I would maybe consider getting Mark Bell's original bench press Slingshot. That might help you a little bit. Depending on the degree of bench pain, it'll provide support, and it might be able to bring barbells back in your life. If you are at a home gym, you can get one of the there are barbells available that don't have the straight grip width, that have, what do they call it, a football bar, that have a little bit of angled, more neutral grip. That might be an option for you as well. Brent, let's spin the wheel. Sorry, Brent. Brips, can we DM you on Twitter? I don't really check Twitter. So sorry, Brips, you're better off emailing me, benthebarman@gmail.com. Twitter is an afterthought in my life, so I wouldn't even know how to check DMs on Twitter. I don't even know if I've ever received a DM on Twitter. Milo, hello from Sweden. I paid the first $25 a minute ago. Thank you. So Milo brings up an important thing that I just added to superlivingtoday.com, and that's installment payments. So what I did was I set up, and I believe it was you, Milo, I set up an installment payment on Team Massive. So you can join Team Massive for only $25 down. That's the first installment. I also have 6 months of coaching. You get 2 months free for $480. That ends up to be $60 a month, but you can do it in installments and only pay $120 down. And I have a year, but you get 2 free months plus 3 additional 3 months for free. So you get 15 months for the cost of 10 months. And that is $600. No, that's $800. But you can pay it in installments. So it's only $200 down. So I have a lot of people that sign up each year for a year of training, year of coaching. And if that's something that interests you, let me know. Milo, you didn't ask a question, but since you signed up, I'm going to give you a spin on the wheel. Tell you what, if anybody signs up for Team Massive during the rest of this live video using the installment of $25, I'll give you a free spin on the wheel, a bonus free spin. We have a really good team over there, and I'd love to have you guys on board. Tom McGivern says, let's go, Brandon. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Tom. Andreas Morin, I'm 54 and training for strength, recomp, and ultra-distance cycling. I do 3 full body days, alternating heavy, light, and medium regarding weights, reps between those cycling. Any thoughts? That sounds fine for me. I would have to look at the program to make any further. And I think if you're somebody that is training that's putting a lot of time into your conditioning and your training outside of weights, 3 days a week is plenty. And I would also say, Andreas, that you can, on any given day, you can drop your sets to 2 per exercise if you feel you're under recovered or feel you just need a little less training time that week. So, Andreas, spin of the wheel. And Andreas wins a free hoodie. So, Andreas, I think this is the first hoodie we gave away today. Head over to Instagram at benthebarman or email me benthebarman@gmail.com with your size, your name, your address, your phone, and all that good stuff, and I will get that sent out this weekend, and congrats. All right, Guceris. Can you drink coffee if you're fasting? Yes. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. The purported benefits of fasting and breaking the fast, I don't like this stuff. I don't. I just think it's you're worrying about something that's not going to really impact you that much. And someone's going to have a heart attack and leave a hate comment. But for 99.99% of you guys, there are a lot of benefits to eating less during the day. And I'm not a straight intermittent fasting proponent, but look, let's be real here. If you want to go hardcore, go hardcore. If you want to turn it into some tight set of rules and it helps you remain motivated, absolutely do it. For me, I found that I fasted for about 5 years. I found that I needed to add protein shakes in the underfeeding window, and it broke the fast. Yeah, so what? Build a diet around you and something you like, rather than believing that something is going to be so magical in and of itself that it's going to change your life. Intermittent fasting is a reasonable approach, but it's not going to magically change your life and your health just because you don't have coffee. So just something to think about. All right, Gusera, spin of the wheel. Sorry, and you guys are probably wondering, hey, big, hairy, ugly dude, why are you pounding drinks in between every question? Number one, it's dry as heck in my office today. And number two, I'm just thirsty as heck and talking a lot. All right, Ian, why don't you sell powerlifting programs? I have powerlifting clients, and I do powerlifting custom programs. A lot of my programs are power building, are powerlifting off-season programs. People believe that off-season powerlifting is somehow different from muscle building. And my programs are more power building. They're perfect for off-season powerlifting, for the natural. And Faz just posted about this today, I believe. There's really no difference. I have more bodybuilding specific programs that include stuff like bulldozer stuff. Would I recommend that for my powerlifters or guys really looking at powerlifting? Probably not. But I definitely do. Excuse me. And most of my stuff is power building with an eye on powerlifting, if that makes sense. All right, Ian, I can't remember if you spun, but you get to spin again. We'll just give it all away today. Sorry, Ian. Faz says, I'm going to get a signed T-shirt when I see you over here. Faz, one of these, yeah, I'll bring you some massive iron gear. Like, and you can give me some Faz lift gear, and we'll confuse everybody by supporting each other instead of fighting like the rest of the internet does. Kriakos, what's the definition of a beginner, intermediate, advanced lifter, and a reasonable rate of progress for each? Well, I will say a beginner is somebody that is still going through or not too far away from beginner gains. They are still working on exercise form. They're still working on consistency. They're still working on nutrition. They're refining, right? They're getting their feet under them. That doesn't mean their nutrition isn't good or their form isn't good, but they're kind of in that walking stage, and they're kind of, depending, I hate to toss around specific strength numbers, but they are still working on getting their strength up to what we would consider a minimal degree of respectability. So on squats, let's say you're at 185, that would still be a beginner level, because it's kind of, I'm not saying that's not a good goal, or that's not a good level to achieve. But when we want a minimal degree of respectability, let's be honest, if I was starting over again, I wouldn't feel like my squat was even beginning to be respectable until at least 225, if that makes sense. My deadlift maybe 275, 315. So that would be a beginner. So working on form, working on the basics, bringing up their strength to a respectable level. And let's not rule out consistency. If you are not consistent, you're forever a beginner. Because anybody that reaches intermediate stages or beyond, it requires consistency. And if you can't nail consistency, you're pretty much forever a beginner. An intermediate, I usually refer to things as late beginners, early intermediate stage. You're kind of transitioning. You've established a track record of training. You're starting to develop results. You have patience to understand the process, and your strength is slowly coming up. For an intermediate, I think, once you're in the 275 to 315 reps on squats, you're an intermediate. I would say on bench, kind of when you are around the 185, 205, 225 for reps, and so on and so forth. Reasonable rate of progress. The further in you get, the harder it becomes to make progress. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. That's just the way natural physiology works. So where people run into mistakes is that they run out the gate and they see progress, and then they're 2 years down the road and they're only adding 1 rep to their bench and they think they're doing something wrong and everybody panics. But really the true test of an intermediate or advanced lifter is the ability to grind for long periods of time for 1 small rep every now and then. So Krakos, spinning the wheel. All right, guys, just a reminder, we're an hour and 22 minutes in. There is something on here called free everything. You win a free month of coaching, a hoodie, a t-shirt, a free cookbook, a free logbook. Everything that's on here you get for free. No one's won that yet, so I'd like to see somebody win it. We don't have a big crowd today. This Black Friday, everybody's off relaxing or doing other things. But if you're on or watching, post up a question for a chance to win. Ruck, I love your channel regardless. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Stoya, did you ever hear anything from Robert after his abrupt disappearance? No, not a word. Not a single word. Ian, thoughts on knee sleeves? So, Ian, with the knee sleeves, I'm not against them at all. When it comes to knee wraps, that's something that you probably really need to have your form down before you start to add. You need to understand with knee wraps, you generally need to wrap before every set. If you are using knee wraps and you take them off after you've been using them for a while, you generally have to go a little bit lighter for a while. Knee sleeves, I don't particularly find them enjoyable. I find them a pain to get on. You have to have them reasonably snug so they're not rolling or rolling down. So I'm not overall a fan of knee sleeves, but I'm not against them. If you like them, use them. Just make sure they're snug enough to provide some, warming effect or whatever. And, hey, if you like them, use them. And I think we spun already, didn't we? Did we spin? I can't remember. I thought, Ian, you spun already. Well, I'm going to give you another spin. All right, Neo, one of my clients. Hey, Neo, how's it going? Autismo Bomba, carbs versus protein for maximal strength. it's really not an either or. It's really about, number one, having a good quality, consistent intake of calories. And I talk about this in my new book, Massive Bulking. A good quality, consistent intake of protein. Some of us function better on carbs. Some of us don't need carbs. I don't need carbs for running. I don't need carbs for lifting. I find my body feels good on a lot of proteins and fats. So a lot of this is personal. I also know people that if they don't have carbs in their diet, their strength really suffers. So honestly, it's all about consistency in nutrition and consistency in protein intake. And then when it comes to your protein has to be there. But when it comes to how many carbs you have, really we're making minor adjustments, eating a little bit more carbs, a little bit fewer carbs, maybe adjusting the protein up or maybe adjusting the fat up or down. So Tismo, you get a spin on the wheel. All right, Paul Velasquez, would you do the 5, 10, 10, 20 for dumbbell bench? You certainly could. I have one or two clients that do that, and there's nothing against that. The only thing I don't necessarily like, is jumping right into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus, which usually accompanies that. I would probably save that if you're going to do that for something like close grip bench or a barbell type of exercise, if that makes sense. PK, questions about the flex calorie system. If I eat well all week and not go over, does that mean I can spend all my flex calories on a single J and enjoy a big cheat meal? So this is not something I talk about a lot on the channel, my flex calorie dieting ebook, but it is one way of eating. Basically, you bank calories. Okay, so let's say your weight loss level is at, let's say you can lose weight at 2,300 calories a day. You can bank calories by going under that. So the goal is to still lose weight, to still stay at that calorie level where you are losing weight. But for every 100 calories you're under that, you put 100 calories in the bank. So if you have 1,800 on a given day, you're 500 calories over, you can bank 500 calories. So you can continue to bank calories for as long as you want. If you go over your target, your weight loss target, then you have to pull money out of the bank. That's how it works. But if you accrue, let's say you're somebody that's losing weight at 2,300 calories, you're losing 1.5 to 2 pounds a week, and you bank like 5,000 calories. That gives you 5,000 calories to blow wherever you want, even on a larger day. So yeah, you can. The flex calorie system isn't a miracle, but it does kind of teach us about banking and spending calories, which I think is a real valuable thing to explore. All right, PK, spin the old wheel. A little gassy. PK wins a free t-shirt. Congrats, PK. Hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman or email benthebarman@gmail.com. Shirt size, name, address, all that good stuff, and I'll get you hooked up. We got a conversation going here in Greek. I had this happen. I don't know if it was Sweden or what, but I'd prefer if you guys could slide in each other's DMs on, because we got Krakos, we got Neo, we got Christos. I don't have a clue what you guys are saying, so I can't even read it. I don't even know what that says. Yasu Stus something. Maybe you guys can translate for me. Thoughts on light cardio in the cold? Cold weather? You know what? I'll tell you. When I started snow running it was a real torture. Like, this is the worst. But I will say that it did wonders for my immune system, and I got used to it, and it doesn't bother me anymore. The best advice I can give for somebody is, if you're going to do something in the cold, do it where there's no wind. Like running in the woods or even hiking or walking in the woods, most of that wind is knocked down. So you don't have to deal with that torture. And if it's cold, like in my gym, and I want to do cardio in here, I'm pretty, it's no wind, so it's all good. So wind is the thing that annoys me more than cold. So absolutely. KO Surge, banded pull-ups versus lat pull-downs to work on full pull-ups. If you're going to work on full pull-ups, I would do a banded pull-up. Not that lat pull-downs aren't good. They absolutely are. But I would do a banded pull-up. One thing I would consider, KO, is when you're doing these, and I didn't know that. I didn't even think about this for a long time, to be honest. It's not something you overly analyze. Put one foot in the band instead of two, because if you get to the point where you can't continue on and you're fatigued, it's easier to get one foot out of a band than it is both feet, and that's just more of a safety thing. So KO gets a chance to spin the wheel. KOU and the free Massive Iron Bulking PDF, something I released this week. Head over to Instagram at BenTheBarman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, and I will hook you up. Atismo, what's your weight? What's your weight protein intake? My weight is somewhere in the 240s, and my protein intake, I don't know. On bad days, 150, and good days, 220. I just try to stay within that range. B. Scott, hey, big, hairy, ugly dude. I did squats for the first time since 2018. I felt like a kid going up to the chalkboard to do a math problem. I could only get 225 for 5. Any words of encouragement? Number one, that's a lot if you have not squatted in 3 years. So my biggest, before words of encouragement, I want to tell you to be careful. The musculature system, your muscles might be able to handle it when your connective tissue isn't ready for it. So be careful. Ease into things. We do not need to get injured. My biggest word of encouragement is be safe, because when you're safe, you can continue to train, etc. As far as words of encouragement, I will tell you the most important thing in life you can be is somebody that gets up and takes one step forward each day. You might think it's a small step, and your neighbor might think it's a small step, and the guys at the gym might think it's a small step. But I'm telling you right now, if you get up with the sole purpose of just taking one step a day, in a year or 2 years, you're going to be far past everybody, because not everybody is on that same sheet of music. All right, B. Scott, you get a spin of the wheel. All right, B. Scott, you want a free Massive Iron logbook. This is a spiral-bound training logbook, 220 pages, room for 200 pages of workouts. So head over to Instagram at BenTheBarman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, and I will hook you up. Neo, Harut, my home gym is in a 3-season porch. It was 26 degrees yesterday. That's true. Neo does a lot of volume out in the freezing cold of Minnesota. Tyrell Fredrickson, tips on growing the upper chest. All right, so for a long time in hypertrophy, we, in the 70s and 80s, lifters talked about targeting the upper chest. And then we reached this enlightened stage where we were smart and said, you can't target muscle. A muscle's a muscle. Now what we're learning is that regional hypertrophy is kind of a real thing. what we're learning is that you may be able to target certain areas of a muscle. So the best way to target anything is through a variety of exercises. So dumbbells, barbells, different types of movements, and progressive overload. So if I was going to work on the upper chest, I would make sure I was doing 2 versions of overhead pressing, seated overhead press and seated dumbbell overhead press at about a 70-degree angle, the seat back. I would be doing an incline and barbell and dumbbell bench. And you can alternate that every other week. You don't have to do both in the same week. So 1 week do incline bench, 1 week regular bench. I would do my flat bench work just to be well-rounded. And then I would probably include dips and pull-up superset, and maybe do a isolation exercise that is like cable crossovers. You can adjust going from low to high, high to low, etc. I would find I would probably use cable crossovers over dumbbell flies or pec deck, just because you can target things a little bit better. So would there be any harm in doing this? No. At worst, you're just growing your chest. At best, you're having a greater degree of focus on your upper chest. So Tyrell gets a spin of the wheel. No one's won everything yet, Tyrell. Maybe you'll be the big winner. Tyrell wins a free cookbook. Tyrell wins the free cookbook. Tyrell, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up. Thank you. Eric Redbeard, hello from Indiana. What's going in? Tuned in from work. No lunch break today. I hope you don't have too much of a Turkey Day hangover. TW, look at the avatar, Krakos Grizzly. How do you implement progressive overload without using an RPE or percentage-based system? Easy. It's called auto-regulated progression. It's the easiest, in my opinion, the best way in the book. Do a set. Last time, let's say you did 205 for bench for 8 reps. This time you try to do max safe reps. Every time you just try to do max safe reps. And when you increase by a rep or 2, you add weight. Really simple. Add reps and add weight. Add reps and add weight. At TW, you get a free spin of the wheel. Boom, TW gets a free month of coaching. So TW, if you're interested in this, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. We have to set up a time to talk. There's no catch. You don't have to stay on past a month. I set you up with a free workout, set you up on my app, and we just work together for a month. If you don't want this, I can just create a custom workout for you and you're good to go. If you don't want that, you want something else, free crap, I'm happy to exchange that as well. But congrats. Adam, as a beginner, I very often get something like 19, 14, 9 reps in a variety of upper body exercises. Should I save on first set to have more reps for later? No. It doesn't really matter. You can. That's one of the – let me backtrack. It depends on how you want to do it. Okay, if you're doing 3 sets, the first set can be your progression indicator or your last set can be your progression indicator. So for my clients on assistance type of exercises, I use the last set as a progression indicator. So they'll do like 10, 10, and max reps. So we are kind of saving on the first 2 reps. We're fatiguing through volume and then we're crushing it on the last set. You can do that. You can do 8, 8, and then max, 10, 10, and max, 6, 6, and max, or 12, 12, and max. And it really depends on the exercise. I find that easier than doing max. And then, on the other 2 sets, then you have to decide whether you want to do max, 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 or max, and then hold steady at the reps. Really, what tends to happen if you max out the first set is that the next 2 sets tend to be maxed either way. So if you do 12 reps on bench on the first set, the second set, you might have the goal of hitting only 10, but you might just wake up and you're fatigued at 9. You just max that set. And then the next one, you're probably going to max at 7. So just know when you max the first set, you're probably going to be maxing all 3. I hope that makes sense. And Adam, a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Adam, no soup for you. Milo, I get your 4 PDF, but I don't understand how I get to talk with the Team Massive. Milo, I have to set you up. Sorry. I got to do that after I'm done. I send you a link to the private server. So anybody that joins Team Massive, I have to send you a link to a private group. And obviously I haven't done that yet because I'm on the live video. But I will be doing that as soon as I am done. And then once you are on Team Massive, you can either post questions and just interact with the community. You can DM me questions, or you can post form videos. So it'll all make sense once I hook you up. Harut, at least there's no wind. That's correct. Shiv, can we drink the water? We already did that one, and we already did that one. Bacon and Butters 16. That's a good name. Do you have any recommendation? Do you have any recommended particular program for strongman training? No, I do not. And it's just not something. I'm not against strongman training. Just don't have any experience with it, so I stay out of that realm. I will say, Bacon and Butters, that what I have seen from my strongman friends is that a lot of them will lift 3 days a week, and then on a Saturday they'll do specific strongman type of training. So they have like Sunday off, so they come back to normal training on Monday, if that makes sense. So I would probably look into some type of program like that on the web, and I'm sorry I can't help you, but what I can do is give you a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Bacon. All right, Chris, do you ever recommend dialing back on weight sets reps? I've been pushing hard, and it seems like I get a minor injury every week. Absolutely. What I recommend is keeping it intuitive. So if you feel beat up on any given day, you can either do a deload day and drop your weight 20% and drop a set per exercise, or you can just take an extra rest day. I like to keep deloads, and I like to keep dialing back intuitive. So there are options. If you start to feel beat up, you can take 2, 3, or 4 days away from the gym and just lick your wounds a little bit. I don't like to plan in just a random 7 days. I would rather keep that for something when I'm on vacation, etc. Beyond that, if you are short on time or energy or just feel beat up on any given day, you can either pull back a set per exercise or do a full-blown deload where you pull back a set per exercise and drop weight about 20%. All right, Chris gets a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Chris. All right, RDD, Red Devil Daza. I have skinny legs, planning to do just legs workouts 2 times a week for the next 3 months to get a bit of size. Is that wise? It's wise if you have a good exercise variety. Don't just do squats. Do squats if you can. Squats, leg press, hack squats, leg extensions, lunges, Bulgarian split squats, that sort of thing. Make sure you're in a calorie surplus. We're not going to fat bulk here, but we want to facilitate muscle build. And if you guys need any help with that, just let me know. Also, check out my new book, Massive Bulking. All right, Massive. Massive. Red Devil, you get a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Red Devil. Bill Mate, good to hear from you, Bill. Hello from DC. Almost 4 weeks into a diet. It's been a breeze besides the first week getting used to less food. Some upper body stuff is challenging, but overall pleased. And you know what, Bill? That's really one of the big keys. The first week is just the suck. You know, the getting used to the change. Of course, we're going to feel hungry. You know, we're eating less. We have less glycogen stores. We just feel a little bit, you know, there's a challenge. So many people assume it's just going to be super challenging. But I find when you kind of get past that first week, you kind of get in a nice cruise control stage and you're good to go. And Bill, I know you didn't answer your question, but you're a long-time follower of the live, so I'm going to give you a spin of the wheel. Bill, congrats. You won a massive iron logbook. I seem to be giving away a lot of these today. Hit me up on Instagram at BenTheBarman or email benthebarman@gmail.com and I'll hook you up. Big Spoon Bear says, thank you for answering my question. You bet. Eric, if lifting, then doing cardio immediately after, do you recommend eating anything between, or is it just get it all done and go home and eat? Well, I kind of answered this earlier a little bit, but and I'm trying to think exactly what I said, but if you are just doing 20 to 30 minutes of cardio, you probably don't need to eat anything. If you're doing longer bots, it's okay to have some carbs maybe 15 minutes before your workout is done, your lifting workout. Now, you can get things like honey stingers. They're these chewies on Amazon, 130, 140 calories, or you can get something other than that. Honey stingers are just really easy to digest, and you could do something like that. You know, if you're trying to hold weight or build muscle, that's probably a good idea. You know, you're doing cardio for general health or general conditioning, that's probably a good idea. If you are trying to lose weight, I would probably just suck it up. So Eric gets a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Eric. HB, do you think someone can effectively commit to a powerlifting prep training only 2 days a week? Powerlifting peaking is there's two things to consider when you're talking about powerlifting. You have off season and you have peaking, which is the preparation for a lift, for a meet. So in the off season, what you would be doing would be basically trying to build up your base, trying to build up your strength with a little bit more reps, generally. It depends on how experienced you are, obviously, and what your programming needs. More experienced lifters need a little bit more exercise diversity, etc. So, with that said, can you lift on only 2 days a week? Yeah, we could make it work. We can make it work. We'd have to really focus on the compounds. We'd have to have a deadlift day and a squat day, something like squats and bench or deadlift and bench. And we would really need to focus our assistance work. It could be doable. I would also say if you could build even in a third day of only 30 minutes, that would be great. That would be a bonus, but you could still get it done on 2 days a week. So HB, you get a spin of the wheel. And for anybody that's been watching the whole show, you're probably sick of that sound. But guys, I'm going to stay on as long as you guys have questions. I got a ton in the queue, so we might be here a while. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Frank Fitness, which warm-up protocol would you use for a 20-rep squat set? Good question. Usually your 20 reppers are going to start when you start this type of programming somewhere around 60 to 57.5% of your 1 rep max. So Really, you're doing bar for 2 sets by 10, maybe 40% of your max for like 8, 50% of your max for like 4 to 5, and you should be good to go. All right, Frank gets the spin of the wheel. Frank, I think you probably already have this. You do. You have the hardcover, but I'll send you something new. Frank, just let me know what you'd like. Hoodie, massive iron, anything. Frank's somebody I know well, one of my clients. So Frank, whatever you want, it's yours. Iron, chest supported row machine as the only form of rowing. I don't like it as the only form of rowing. You need variety when it comes to rows for your back. That's optimal. Dumbbell rows, barbell rows, seated cable rows, chest supported rows are good. If you want my honest opinion, over a 2-week period of time, I think you need 3 rows. That would be at least 3 rows. I like to do barbell rows, dumbbell rows. You can do machine or chest supported rows. They're kind of in the same family. Seated cable rows, T-bar rows, anything like that. But I don't like one exercise. Nicholas, thoughts on healthy fats? I eat eggs, avocado, and salmon all the time. We need fat in our diet. Those are great choices. Those are 3 great choices. Some of the best choices you can get. Maybe add a little bit of dairy into that mix. And you're perfect. Those are really good choices. Maybe a little bit of nuts. Not a lot. A little bit goes a long way. Jimmy Niemanen, sorry. How to program ring dips. When I do those for clients, Jimmy, I've had more than a few clients with rings at home. They're basically just using them the same as they would regular dips. So we do the same type of programming as we would regular dips. Really no difference at all. So, Jimmy, you get to spin the wheel. We're not sure that was much help. Jimmy, you win the free Massive Iron PDF. Hit me up on Instagram at Been the Barman, or Gmail, or email benthebarman@gmail.com. Rico. Hello, Massive Iron family. How's it going, Rico? Neo, those gym bag pouches Fiona made one year are freaking awesome. I think they were a Black Friday release. Yeah, Fiona made those for wraps, and I thought they were awesome. And maybe if you guys are interested, I can have her make a few more limited edition. Let's see, Bill. Sheesh, I wish my overhead press was only 30 behind my bench. That's probably my weakest lift. A lot of people are right there with you, Bill, 100%. Tom, I bench with my feet on the bench. I'm not a power lifter. I have no judges present. Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely no problem with that. Really, you want to just get your upper body from your ass to your shoulders. You want to have that tight, just quality base for lowering the weight. Nothing wrong with that. Alan S. When I started lifting a year ago, I never thought I would do deadlifts. However, now it's my favorite lift. That, Alan, is the beautiful thing about life. Trying new things, we expose ourselves to new things. We expose ourselves to new possibilities, and we find things that we're good at and that we like to do. So everybody should try new things. Tom says, hit it. Brian Funk, Dogfish Head is brewed just down the road from here. You know, I don't really like Dogfish 60 or 90. Not a super fan. 90 is better than 60, but 120 is by far my favorite beer. It's hard to find. Anthony Perez, I'm 58, 17 months ago I had shoulder replacement surgery. And I imagine you're back at it. If that's your avatar, Anthony, you look great. So Anthony says, have you had experience with training people with this procedure? I've never had specifically shoulder replacement, But Anthony, I will tell you, in my time training, I've trained people with pretty much every issue. People that have had major back issues. I've trained Special Olympians that have had hip replacements. I've trained blind Special Olympian athletes. I've trained pretty much every possible condition. And when it comes to training, the key thing is to know what you can do and what you can't do. And then knowing what you can do, you just structure things wisely. Like there are some clients I work with that can't press overhead. So we have to get creative, but we find a good group of exercises that work. And is it optimal? Well, it's the best they can do. So therefore it is optimal. So yeah, I've had experience training, not with that, but I've had experience pretty much training with every possible condition or general condition. So Anthony, I'm going to spin the wheel for you. Sorry, Anthony. Strong wise, I don't have access to heavy dumbbells. My set caps out at 30s. I do have a barbell with 4 or 5 in plates. Is there any downside to doing all my row variations with a barbell? There are some downsides. Not saying you can't build strength or muscle, but it helps to have flexibility. Dumbbells are great for hypertrophy. So really what you need is some way of doing dumbbell bench and dumbbell row if you're at home. So that would be a benefit. If you have regular Olympic plates, you can get an Olympic handle. Excuse me. You can get Olympic handles at titanfitness.com, but they're really only good for dumbbell rows, not really dumbbell bench as much. You just have to get creative. Really, the thing that's going to compromise the most is dumbbell overheads and dumbbell bench, your pressing movements. You can get by with it, though. I would definitely put on your radar the ability to get dumbbells up to 70 or 80 for your pressing and a little bit more. Get that handle, that Olympic handle from titanfitness.com. That way you can do rows with a lot more. So strong wise, here is your spin. Strong wise, you are the big grand prize winner. You win free everything. Free everything, strong wise. You win a free month of coaching. You win the free Massive Iron t-shirt and hoodie, a free logbook and Massive Iron book sent to you. These are real books. You win the cookbook. You win all the goodies. This is a huge prize package. So please reach out to me on Instagram at BenTheBarman, or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. If you don't want the coaching, I can put together just a custom workout for you, etc. So congrats. I'm glad at the 2-hour mark, we finally had somebody win free everything. You win the grand prize, strong wise, so congrats. Neo, you're doing 405 bent over rows. I wish 135. Galactic Warrior says, let's go, Brandon. Strongwise only have 4 or 5 on the sumo deadlift. Convention is getting there. Chuck E. Cheese tunes in with a Whey, with a bonus E. Abhinav, have you had any serious injuries during your lifting journey? If so, how long did it take you to recover? By the way, love your videos. Thank you for your support. I've had some non-lifting major injuries. More of my injuries have been non-lifting, but that just comes with age. I tore a calf jumping off a stone chasing my kids. It was random, and that took me a while to recover from. I was lifting up an empty oil barrel at work, an oil drum at work, empty, and I tore my left shoulder. completely random. That took me almost a year to recover from. I had to start with the bar on bench and slowly build up. But I ended up getting 500 with chains and etc. So it took me a long time to recover. I tore my hamstring when I was approaching age 50, trying to train for the all-time over 50 powerlifting world record. And when that happened, it took me a good 6 months, maybe a good 3 or 4 months to get back moving 315 to 405 again. That recovery went a lot quicker than the shoulder. So Habhinov, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but you do get a spin of the wheel. No way. This can't be real life. Back-to-back grand prize winners. Back-to-back. You win a free month of coaching, a free hoodie, a free t-shirt, free logbook, free flag, free everything. If you don't want the free month of coaching, I can do a free workout for you. Congrats. That's a big back-to-back grand prize winners. This is not rigged, people. This is completely random. And the odds of that happening are something like 1 in 1,000, literally, if you do the math. So congrats. Email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, or hit me up on Instagram @benthebarman. Strongwise says, Neo, 30 pounds needs to be very high reps to feel anything. Yes, it does. All right. Alan, it will not spike your insulin, so no, it will not break your fast. We're talking about coffee and intermittent fasting. Neo and Strongwise are having a conversation. I'll let those guys go. And Bilal, during weighted chin-ups, is it cheating if you don't fully relax at the bottom? I would say fully extend. I don't know about relax. I would fully extend. I don't want you stopping with your arms bent at like a little bit of an angle. We don't want to break with your biceps, basically. So stay tight, stay controlled. Don't relax, but try to fully extend as much as possible, if that makes sense. It does. Your arms don't have to be perfectly straight, but you want to extend them as much as you can. So Bilal, a member of Team Massive, you get a spin. I fully expected to see another grand prize, but sorry, Bilal. Ronald Richardson, would you scale up protein intake as you gain weight while in a bulk? Over time, maybe slowly. I think it's a good idea to generally, if you don't have a slow metabolism or not, not eating somewhere around 2,000 to 2,200 calories to maintain, it's probably a good idea to keep your protein intake around 170, 180, upwards of 220 if you like eating protein foods. But is it necessary? No. I've not done that. I know Faz hasn't done that. And I know other experienced lifters really haven't done that. It's not a priority. It's not something that'll make or break you. But it's probably not a bad idea as well. Because as you build muscle, obviously you have more muscle to repair, more muscle mass to repair and recover, recovery demands. But it's not something you need to really overly worry about. There are 10, 20 grams of protein over time, probably not a bad idea. So Ronald, you get a free spin of the wheel. It won't make or break you, Ronald. As long as you're hitting your minimum. Sorry, Ronald. And Juma 93 says, can't see my question. This is no spam. Longtime viewer, first time catching live. And here's your question. Thoughts on effective reps whilst having 5 reps in reserve, as science is telling. That's got to be one study because modern science does not tell us that. I mean, the meta-analysis of hypertrophy, 5 reps in reserve, there's nothing to show that has any value at all. That's like a warm-up set. It literally is a warm-up set. So if you read that anywhere, that's a one-off study, but that has no, if somebody could maybe clarify, or you could clarify where you read this from, that's like a warm-up set. 5 reps in reserve isn't challenging. It's going to do virtually nothing for hypertrophy. Unless you do 1,000 sets, and then why would you do that? You're just better off doing effective training. So maybe, Juma, you could share the study with me on Instagram, Ben the Barman, but that is definitely not what modern hypertrophy science tells us. All right, Juma, spin of the wheel. Juma wants a free month of coaching. Juma, you can hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman, or Gmail, Ben the Barman or email benthebarman@gmail.com. And if you don't want a free month of coaching, you just want me to design you a custom workout, I'd be happy to swap that as well. Coaching comes with a workout, but some people just prefer to have the workout and run, so whatever works best. But congrats. We're getting a lot of big hitters today. I think this is at least 3 times I've given away the free month of coaching. And again, for my existing clients, you're eligible. So if you get this, you simply get your next month of coaching for free. All right. What did I miss here? Rico, when giving things away, do you replenish it back in the store or just get something else? My books are through Lulu and they're print on demand, so I don't stock them. But Lulu is super efficient. Usually they ship out within 4 to 7 days, which in this modern era can seem like a long time, but that's print on demand. My t-shirt company is Printful. They print on demand as well. Yesterday I sold about 50 t-shirts at $4.99, and I'm losing money on those. I absolutely am. I think it cost me $7.99 to produce them. I don't care. I'm not looking to make money, but they were shipping them out the same day, or they were making them the same day yesterday. They were actually working on Thanksgiving. So nothing I have is a physical stock when it comes to shirts or flags or books. My store is very complex, and it's set up to auto-fulfill. So the second you guys place an order, it goes to my fulfillment center, and my fulfillment center gets it, and they start working on it. I don't have to do anything. So I hope that makes sense. And Rico, you get a spin of the wheel. My store is pretty high tech. Sorry, Rico. Neo said, I said hello to my brothers, but in Greek. Thanks, Neo. I appreciate it. Mohammed, your advice is for cardiovascular fatigue before reaching failure. There are some exercises, and I think this is what you're talking about, so correct me if I'm wrong, where you'll fatigue from a cardio standpoint before you'll reach muscular failure. So there are some, let me set the table. There's some exercises that are more challenging from a cardiovascular standpoint. For me, they are dumbbell rows. They are Romanian deadlifts. Those are the 2 big hitters. Squats are obviously fatiguing from a cardiovascular standpoint, but I can usually get through a set of squats. Some people will see me do dumbbell rows at a faster speed and with power, and they'll be like, cheating, all that kind of cheating, you're a cheater type of silliness. But I'm trying to get in my reps before I really fatigue from a cardiovascular standpoint. That's one aspect of it. And when you're doing 30 reps, sometimes it's just fun to blast them out. So it is okay if you fatigue from a cardiovascular standpoint. What we want to do is just continue to push so we can improve our cardiovascular system, and then that'll eventually just lead to more reps, more weight, more muscle. So I hope that helps. And Mohammed, you get a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Mohammed. Nicholas, tips to stay full. I use casein protein every night. Prevents me from being hungry overnight. The biggest tip I can say is eat less before 5. You don't have to do strict intermittent fasting. Try to snack less. One thing I try to do is save a snack of 200 to 300 calories before bed. You can do Greek yogurt with fruit, a lot of low glycemic fruit like blackberries and strawberries. I dice up 3 tomatoes, add a plain Greek yogurt, and add in Frank's Red Hot, things like that. You can also get like Quest chips, protein chips. You can have 2 bags of those, 280 calories and salsa. That's a little snack. So there's some things you can do. Travis, thanks for answering my question. I brew beer for a living, so I was curious. You bet, Travis. And if you ever want to have a test dummy for some of your beer, send it my way. Michael G, are you hitting arms during push or pull on a PPLA split? On a PP pull, legs, arms, usually what I do, and this isn't a hard and fast rule, because you have an arms day, you can also add in one arm exercise on a push and a pull day if you want. Now, on the push day, freeing up room from training your triceps will only allow you to do more work on your shoulders and chest, which is a really good thing because that day can get super cramped. Pull is more like a conventional back day if you were on a bro split. So pull, you have more room, so you could add in a bicep exercise. Or on the push day, if it's super cramped, instead of doing a bicep exercise on the pull day, you could then work in a tricep exercise the day after. Then you get a break on leg day, and then you can do more tricep work on arm day. So there's a couple ways to do things, Michael, and I hope that makes sense. Michael gets a spin of the wheel. Michael wins a free hoodie. Congrats, Michael. Hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman or email benthebarman@gmail.com. It's been over 2 hours. I'm trying not to repeat myself too much and get punch drunk. Home gym fitness. I've just started doing deadlifts again after not doing them for many years. Any advice? Are you doing them at home? Well, obviously, home gym fitness, so I'd assume so. Titan Fitness. I have no affiliation, but they have what's called deadlift pulling blocks for like $70. Probably one of the best investments you can get at your home gym. Okay. And you can pull a little bit off the ground. It's a good way to get back into deadlifts. A little bit easier on the lower back. You can build strength. You don't have to do it every week. You can do it every other week. As far as getting back into things, if you don't do something like that, go slow. Go very, very slow. Take a year to get back up to full speed if you need. 6 months to get back up to full speed. Don't rush. Don't take these big 30 to 40-pound jumps every week. Allow your connective tissue a chance to strengthen or re-strengthen, because this is where most people fall short. So home gym fitness, you get a spin of the wheel. Home gym fitness, free month of coaching. This one keeps coming up today. I'm going to have like 200 trainees, 200 clients at the end of the day if this keeps up. Home gym fitness, congrats. You want a free month of coaching? Hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman or at email benthebarman@gmail.com. If you do not want a free month of coaching, you can also swap that for a free custom workout or just swag, flag, t-shirt, hoodie, that sort of thing. So hit me up and congrats. Shiv, thoughts on resistance bands for glutes on legs while performing leg? Not real. I'm not a big putting bands on while you're doing squats and leg. I'm not a fan of that at all. I don't really. It doesn't really provide benefit. If you look at some of the information from Paul Carter, it's non-existent. You're better off doing exercises without bands that specifically target the glutes. Olympic grade lurker. If you're an intermediate lifter currently on a cut, should you focus on maintaining the weight on the bar or keep struggling? It really depends. Like, there are some guys that just continue to make progress on a cut. It depends on how much fat you need to lose, and it depends on your track record. So if it's a short-term cut, like say upwards of 2 weeks, and you just want to knock off a few pounds, probably better to go into a holding pattern and just do a mini cut and take a break, lick your wounds a little bit, let some minor injuries heal. If it's a longer cut, I would do a more controlled form of progressive overload, where you're maybe one set of every exercise, you push for max safe reps. There's really no downside to that as long as you're feeling good, if that makes sense. So Olympic grade lifter, you get a spin of the wheel. Galactic Warrior, thanks for answering my question. Don't answer my question. I don't know if I missed anything, Galactic. If I did, post it on up. If not, you can head over to Instagram, slide into my DM, and post up the question. I'll answer it there. Mystery, judge, jury, executioner. Barely getting here, better late than never. It's a long one today, but I'll stay on as long as you guys got questions. I'm dedicated to the process. 69 Camaro, your opinion on time static contractions for hypertrophy. I don't like timing the contraction. I think power generation is an essential part of hypertrophy. I'd rather have control on the eccentrics, if that makes sense. So 69 Camaro. Doesn't mean you can't do that on like a drop set. I'd rather save that for something to do as a drop set or a rest pause type of thing. So you do your regular set, and then if you want to squeeze out something at the end that's more time, that's how I would do it, if that makes sense. So 69 Camaro, spin of the wheel. Sorry, 69. Yush, is it okay to go heavy on squats if your hams are still sore from previous RDLs? Yes, it is. Just be careful. You probably don't want to do anything super heavy, super crazy, like anything over probably 82.5% of your one rep max. But if you have to dial it back a little bit, go ahead, maybe drop a set or maybe drop weight by 20 pounds. If not, just take it set by set. If anything feels unusual, just shut it down. All right, Yush, spin of the wheel. Sorry, Yush. Frank says, cheers. Thanks, Frank. Mini Pluto. Why did you first start uploading on YouTube? I was looking at the MUHD. The big, hairy, ugly dude is what I call myself, BHUD. So I was trying to think if there was anything he was poking fun at me. VM. Why did you start uploading on YouTube? I don't know. Back maybe 10 years ago, I created a YouTube channel. This is a true story. I had a forum called Muscle and Brawn, or a website, Muscle and Brawn, which I no longer own. And it was a really big, thriving forum. We were competing at times with Forum of the Year with bodybuilding.com. And we had a lot. It was a very, it was like a family. So we had a meetup one time in New Jersey, and we had like 6-7 guys there meet up to lift. And we recorded videos, and I created a YouTube channel to upload those. Those are still on here. I was around New Jersey, New York. And then for some reason, I made a couple videos And before you know it, I was doing it every single day. And before I knew it, I had 100 videos up. So just kind of happened. I just started talking. This was 8-9 years ago. I didn't try to build a YouTube empire, become an influencer. Just started talking about lifting. And that's what I do these days. I'm just a schmuck. I'm not polished. I don't do jump cuts. I'm just a guy that loves lifting. That's just like you guys. So Minnie gets a spinny. Minnie wins a free hoodie. Way to go. I'm glad you guys are winning some stuff because that was the whole point. Head over to Instagram at BenTheBarman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. You win a free hoodie. I need your size and address and name and all that good stuff. All right. Yush, I shouldn't say this, but there are way too many questions here for free. It's okay, man. I mean, I was sitting around trying to figure out, what do I do for Black Friday? And I got some deals out over at superlivingtoday.com. $4.99 t-shirts, $9.99 flags, Team Massive for only $25 to enter into Team Massive first installment. But I don't discount my coaching. One thing I'm doing is offering my existing clients and future clients extra months because I don't want to insult my current clients by providing a discount to new clients. So it's open to everyone. But look, man, I love doing this, and to be able to give away free stuff rather than just, shill all the time, I'd rather give away free stuff. I'm going to be giving away free stuff every single day on Instagram at Ben the Barman. Every day I'm going to be giving away something. So you guys that didn't win, head over to Instagram and follow me. And I'm going to be giving away something every single day. Mike, bulldozer sets are evil. Yes, they are. They're evil in a way that'll help you build all those spectacular muscles. All right, Nicholas, when you plateau on smaller exercises with cables, do you just switch sets, rep sets, or exercises? Good question. So something like, excuse me, side laterals, you're going to cap out real quick, right? So what do? You can move on to a bulldozer set, a rest pause set, a block set. And what do you do after you cap out on those? Well, you need some kind of a finisher, so you can probably keep them in place knowing that your rest of your exercises are big hitters, or you can upgrade slightly. Like things like pec deck and dumbbell flies and cable crossovers aren't created equally. For example, some of them have a bigger progression window. So let's say you were doing dumbbell flies and you reach your limit. You could move on to cable crossovers, and when you reach your limit, then you can move on to maybe pec deck, which has a little bit more bigger progression window, if that makes sense. If that limits you, then you can move up to a machine or a plate loaded. So let's see. Anthony Perez, entering my first meet in 21 US. Bench only 220 master's class. Bench only. I've thought about just doing a push-pull. Squats right now, with all the running, I don't attack those as hard as I normally would. But good luck. I think you'll have fun. Kalen, that is really generous, sir. Thank you, Kalen. And Kalen, for tuning in. You didn't have a question, but for being kind, I'm going to give you a spin. Sorry, Kalen. Anthony Perez, total knee replacement in December, trying to stay active. Just do what you can, treat your body, respect your body. Give what it takes, and play the long game. Try to find forms of exercise you can do now that you want to be doing when you're 70 and even 80. Yush, all I wanted was my question answered. All these people with weird questions for these no, do not stop. Do not stop. Yush, I'm not trying to be argumentative, but most of the people here are here on and off, and this is what I want. This is my way of thanking people. So please continue. Stein, pull-ups or chin-ups for lats? For lats, pull-ups. Neutral grip sometimes a little bit easier for most individuals. Chin-ups, when I do chin-ups, I want them to be more bicep focused. So I don't recommend people do chin-ups unless they can do pull-ups really well. You can also do reverse grip lat pull downs, but when you do them, you really really work at feeling that bicep. All right, Brandon, if you could be anybody for a day, who would it be? A very good question. Anybody for a day. There's a lot of people. You know, being an astronaut would probably be cool. Somebody that's been to space, but you know, seeing the Earth from space, we all get it. I might want to be a top level baseball player, somebody that can just hit the living crap out of a baseball. You know, a world class athlete. Just to feel like, as an athlete myself, just to feel like what it would be like, you know, to be able to play at that level. So, Brandon, spin of the wheel. Sorry, Brandon. Minnie, how would you train differently if training for hypertrophy over strength? They're the same thing. Basically the same thing for most of the ride till you get to about 80 to 90% of your progress. Basically the same thing. And that's what I teach on this channel, power building. Building muscle and strength, there's a synergy. Once you get to 80 to 90% of your strength, should you, if you want more strength, include variables that are more strength specific to encourage more strength gains? Yes. Like chains or lockouts or pin presses, that sort of thing. Because muscle is limited by natural potential. You can't exceed your natural potential from a muscular standpoint, but strength, there's always room to improve technique. There's always new ways to challenge strength, to push strength a little bit up more and more. So for the base, 80 to 90% are the same thing. Milo said, hello again, I've not won anything in my life. Sorry, Milo. Well, welcome to Team Massive. Chris Doherty, do you like the idea of using unconventional lifts, or do you find them useless? It's a very good question. There are some unconventional lifts that I think are safe and fun. And there's some unconventional lifts that I think invite injury. So have I tried some unconventional lifts over the years? Absolutely. Do I find them particularly useful for building muscle and strength? No. Does that mean you can't do them? Absolutely not. Do what you love. But if you want to build muscle and strength, just make sure the meat and potatoes are in place. And Chris gets a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Chris. Matthew says, happy holidays. Thanks. Same to you, Matthew. Muhammad, maximum minimum rest periods between barbell squats. There's no really rule. When we look at the science of rest periods, there's not a lot of convincing information one way or the other. A lot of it can be pragmatic. The best advice I can give you is be flexible on any given day. Do what your body wants you to do. I say rest until you feel mentally and physically ready to go again. You don't want to be huffing and puffing, and you want to be mentally ready to go, and that can vary set to set and week to week. Oscar, why does my shoulder always hurt when benching? No idea. It could be form. It could be a minor injury. It could just be sloppy benching. So I'd be happy to take a look, Oscar, if you want to send over a video. So, Oscar, you get a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Oscar. Unconventional. Thoughts on shoulder day with lateral raises 100% to failure. Lateral raises won't be the best at building big shoulders. You can do something like my bulldozer sets, where you do a set to max reps, rest 20 to 30 seconds, and you do this 4 more times. So you get 5 mini sets where you're taking them all near failure. That'll be good icing on the cake. That's a good end cap. But if your shoulders are lagging, you need to really attack them probably with seated overhead or dumbbell presses first and foremost. Add in a machine shoulder press. So unconventional, you get a spin of the wheel. We're on a cold streak. Matthew, thoughts on using the calorie bank in reserve while bulking? 6 days higher than normal, then 1 day pulling back. I'm okay with that. I would just not pull back on the day before a big workout. So if you're working out and you want to have one lighter day a week, I'm okay with that. I would probably, let's give you an example. If you don't train on the weekend, I'll probably have the super lighter day on a Saturday. So by Monday, you have Sunday normal, and then by Monday you're lifting. Let's say you don't train on Friday and Saturday. You can have the lighter day on Friday. Don't train on Saturday. You're back at it on Sunday. One of the best ways to do it probably would be, I guess, a detox day on Monday. I hate to toss around the word detox, but you could have a detox day or lower calorie day on Monday, off on Tuesday, then train on Wednesday. Anything like that. That would probably be the best way I would do it. Find a place where you're going to have 2 days off in your program. So Matthew, I can't remember if you spun or not. I don't believe so. Sorry, Matthew, we hit a cold streak. Julian, do you have any advice for building leg mass while also doing long distance cycling? Probably don't cycle the day before leg day. Make sure your legs are fully recovered. That would be my biggest thing. You can structure your leg workouts around your cycling, but make sure you have a full day of recovery before leg work. Julian, you get a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Julian. Paul, we appreciate you and your generosity. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate your support. G. Christie, HIIT training, 1 set to failure. Your thoughts, please. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. I don't like to seek extremes. Now, doing 1 set, I don't like failure because each exercise is unique. So saying all training to failure or none training to failure is really a disservice or a failure to understand how lifting works. Every exercise has a unique set of demands. Some are easier to go to failure and some are more taxing on the body to go to failure. So it's okay to go to failure on some exercises. What I would rather see you do is push a set for as many quality reps as possible, stopping that set when you feel like you're going to fail on the next rep or when your form is going to break down. Safe sets. Practice safe sets. With that said, 1 safe set per exercise is a little bit arbitrary and a little bit low on the volume. From what we understand from modern hypertrophy, probably a little bit better to get in more than that. So I wouldn't seek the minimums. I don't think that's the most effective way. It certainly is not a bad way to train. I just believe you need a little bit more volume. G. Christie gets a spin of the wheel. Sorry, G. Peril. Thoughts on overtraining, overreaching, and insomnia? Tried doing Shaiko for a month. Now I can't sleep. Those programs are they're very intense. And when you do intense amounts of exercise, you can get issues like that. I don't like doing programs like this because I don't feel they really add value. I believe I believe they add more risk than reward. So I'm not a big fan for the average lifter. Pero, you get a spin of the wheel. Sorry, Pero. Muhammad, maximum minimum rest for 10 rep. We already covered that. Sorry. Red Wild Bear, is it true that the more your elbows go under the bench on a bench press variation, the more stress it puts on your shoulders? You want basically wrists above elbows or on a little bit wider grip bench, wrists slightly wider than elbows. But if your wrists are way inside of elbows, you're going to have internal shoulder rotation. If your wrists are way outside of elbows, you're going to have some natural external shoulder rotation or pressure. So wrists over elbows is basically something you want to see if it's you want it to be close on regular bench or regular close grip, if that makes sense. Red Wild Bear gets a spin of the wheel. Hit a cold streak, guys. I'm sorry. Minnie says Messi or Ronaldo. I won't lie. I don't mind soccer. We have a team here in Cincinnati, and I don't know international soccer enough to even comment intelligently. Paul says join Team Massive, be part of the in crowd. Absolutely. We'd love to have you. 3 days grace. I missed this one since I was out of town. I think this is going to end up going all day, the rate it's at, so you might have some time left. G. Christie, cheers, pal. Love your honest, no BS. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Bram, I heard you talking about the program Strongless. Why don't you like the program? Because it's a piece of shit. And I'm not just slamming the program. You do not need to. If we're talking about building strength or muscle, squatting 3 days a week is not optimal. Linear progression sucks. There's not enough exercise variation. If you're talking, somebody's going to say it's a strength program. Strength requires a base and a base of muscle, and muscle requires exercise variation. There's no real reason to squat 3 times a week for anybody, really, unless you're a more advanced or late intermediate lifter. You're putting lifters on basic exercises, squats and deadlifts, that require a lot of time to master or get decent form enough to build muscle. In the meantime, you're just wasting tons of time. So having a program for novices or beginners that are focused on lifts that take a long time to get decent enough form where you can get actual muscle out of them is a huge waste of time. Those types of programs are trash, and squatting 3 times a week does not add to that at all. There's no dumbbell variations, which are great for hypertrophy, and hypertrophy has value in strength. It's just all barbell 5x5 programs, which isn't optimal at all. It's just completely inoptimal in probably every possible way, scientifically and from a reasonable standpoint. So I hope that helps. That'll get me fired up. I hate Strongless. I think it's the worst program ever to be marketed. Bram, spin of the wheel. Bram, you want a free massive iron flag. Look, we're in the cult of barbell era, and I love barbell exercises. But we're not going to get a lot of out of barbell exercises until our form is good. In the meantime, they should be secondary exercises. If you're going to plan for somebody to build strength, we have to make sure our squat form and our deadlift form are solid before we're going to get a lot out of them. And squatting 3 times a week, just a really, really huge waste of time. Any future YouTube guests coming along? I got some people slated for the podcast, but it's a busy time of year for a lot of people. Unconventional says thanks. And Usman, hello, how's it going, Usman? Yari, I returned from my bike trip, both tires broken. Not laughing at you. I just had a few of those days myself. It would have been better to watch you live. Well, at least you got out there and do some exercise. Julian, thanks for your response. Thank you, Julian. Olympic grade lurker, thanks for answering my vague question as best you can. My pleasure. G. Christie, cheers for the spin and advice. Respect from Scotland. And thanks, Gene. I hope everything's good over in Scotland. We hope to make it back soon, and we really, really hope to that the conditions over there with all this COVID crap facilitate the possibility that we can buy a small home over there as a second home away from home. Usman, my questions did not send, so it's annoying. Send them up now. You got just a moment. We got a few seconds left. Mini Pluto, how much is too much volume? How much is too much? Well, first off, volume should be added pragmatically. When you're in a good program, you have a reasonable amount of volume. It shouldn't be added blanketly to all exercises. You can add it. So let's say you're doing 3x8 on barbell rows, and you've been training your program for 2 to 3 months, and you feel, hey, I could add another set to barbell rows. That's really the pragmatic, smart way to do things. Jake the Snake, currently doing your push-pull leagues program 6 days a week. Do you think it would be wise to train smaller muscle groups that don't get much work on my off days, or should I use the off day for full recovery? If you're training that recovery days, what's going to happen is as you build strength, it's going to start to punish your body, and you're going to start picking up nagging strains and pains, and it's going to force you to take rest days either way. So I would be slow and steady rather than super aggressive. And Jake, you get a spin of the wheel. Last call for questions, guys. We only have 2 more. Jake wins a free flag. Jake, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. Email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, and I will hook you up. Ian, my gym doesn't have 27.5 kilogram dumbbells. How do I jump from 25s to 30s on dumbbell bench? What I would probably do, Ian, is get your 25s up to 3 sets of 12, and then move up to 30s. Or what you could also do would be, once you get to a quality 3 sets of 10 on 25s, do your first set with 30, and let's say you only get 6 reps. Who cares? Do your next sets with 25s. So you can see what I'm doing here. 1 set initially with 30s. Work till you get those up to 10. When you do, bring the second set in to play with the 30s and leave that third set at 25 until you kind of progress up that ladder, if that makes sense. Kaylin, I'm glad I was able to catch the live stream. Usually I'm busy at the time of the day. I appreciate you joining in. And Usman was able to get his question in. 1 set RPE 10. If I continue to progress on them as a novice, can I continue doing it? No, that's not an efficient program for a novice. Novices shouldn't be pushing really to failure. They kind of need to learn. A novice needs to spend 2 or 3 months learning the exercises before they're pushing them to failure. So Usman, you receive a spin of the wheel. Not Usman, this is probably a perfect gift for you, the free Massive Iron book. This is the actual book, hard paperback book. It'll be sent to you. This will help you maximize your training. And that's very fortuitous. Hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman or Gmail, benthebarman@gmail.com, and I'll send that out. Rico, will cigars and PRs be back? Unfortunately, no, not at this time. I simply have no time. All right, guys, that's it. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Happy Black Friday, Black Free Day. All of you guys that collected prizes, I appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate everybody's questions. If you didn't win, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. I'll be doing freebies, giveaways every day through Christmas. And on Christmas, I'll be giving away a big package, everything, an everything package, the grand prize. But tune in every single day on Instagram for a daily giveaway now through Christmas. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys' support of my channel. And have a great weekend.